Hello and welcome to our second video about the 8th grade Washington, D.C. trip. In this video, we'll talk more about the trip cost as well as the payment plan that is available to you. So as you can see here, there are three options that result in a different price that you will pay for the trip. So the first one, which is the cheapest for you, would be to register before December 3rd of this year. This will take the $935 base trip price, which includes the deposit and includes having your student room in a hotel room with 4 total students. So your student plus 3 others. And first, World Strides will subtract a $50 early bird discount. And then World Strides, if you register your child for the trip before December 3rd, they will take off another $50 from the base trip price, leaving you to pay $835. Now, if you decide not to register by December 3rd, there is another option to save, and that is registering before January 31st of 2022. That will take that $935 base trip price and you'll subtract the $50 early bird discount, meaning that your total trip price will be $885. Now, the third option is if you register after January 31st, and in that case, you will just pay the $935 base trip price. Now, choosing option 3 is an option, but that being said, in order to absolutely guarantee a spot on the trip, you must register your child and pay the $99 non-refundable deposit before 1/31. On 1/31, we take all of those students who have registered and paid their $99 non-refundable deposit. They are guaranteed to go on the trip. So at that point, we look at how many buses do we need to accommodate all of those students who are guaranteed the trip. And then what usually happens is after January 31st, we will continue registering students through World Strides until that last bus is full. So let's say by January 31st, we have students register. We need 8 buses to accommodate them. We will fill that 8th bus with students who register after the 31st. Once we have filled all of those spots, you can place your student on a wait list, and then if there are cancellations, we'll notify you and your student can go on the trip. So if you don't register before 1/31, it's not that your child can't go on the trip. It's just that you're playing the game of, is there enough room for them and will they possibly be put on a wait list? All of these prices from the previous slide do not include the optional $125 full refund program that we will talk about on a later slide. Now we'll go into the payment plan. So you will pay through installments to World Strides. So the nice thing for us in Novi is that Novi Middle School and Novi Community School District do not handle any of your money. It all goes through World Strides. So you can, if you would prefer, pay by mail, phone, or online. There is a $6 charge for each payment. There is another option that is recommended. It is Easy Pay, where there's an automatic withdrawal from your checking account and there is no extra charge. The final payment, so you will have paid for the trip in full on August 25th, 2022, so right before the school year starts. So as we continue talking about the payment plan, as you go to register for the payment plan, you will need the trip ID, which is 200365. And this payment plan, whichever option you choose from the previous slide, will have payments of $200 due on February 20th, April 20th, and June 20th of 2022. And then the remaining balance will be due at the final payment date, which is August 25th. Now, that being said, World Strides is very accommodating. They want students to go on their trips. They also want the money from those students. So, if you are very upfront with them and you communicate with them right off the bat, they can help you set up other payment plans. So, if you know that maybe you're not going to get a paycheck until the 25th, if you let them know right off the bat, they might be willing to work with you and adjust your payments. Um, the biggest message we can give you is to communicate with them as soon as possible about what your needs might be. Because if you wait and hold off and then run into a problem with the payment plan, that's where the late fees come in. There's a $15 late fee for missed installments. So those are the ones on the 20th. And then there's a $60 late fee for a missed final payment, which is the one in August. So again, all of the payments go through World Strides. It does not go through Novi Middle School or Novi Community School District. And then there is this payment plan available to families as well. With paying for the trip, World Strides does offer a full refund program. It is optional, but I will say over 50% of people in Novi who register for the trip and up to 70% across the US choose to do this plan. It is an additional cost of $125. If you opt to cancel the trip and get this full refund, that full refund does not include the $125 payment or fee for the full refund program, or the $99 initial deposit, or any handling and or late fees that were paid. You must cancel the trip prior to the group's departure, so before we load up on the buses and leave. And then there is a registration letter that you will want to read very carefully for more information about the full refund program. Again, as you look at that, some people in Novi decide to choose it, more across the US choose it. That can be based on other schools who are coming from the West Coast, have longer trips. Some schools choose to fly, so there's airfare involved. But this is something that you might want to look into, thinking about maybe your child gets sick right before the trip, or maybe they're injured and can't make the trip. That's where this full refund program might be useful. Without the full refund program, World Strides will retain 100% of your tour price if you cancel less than 44 days prior to departure. So, as we're thinking about the day of our trip, that 44 days is you need to cancel really right around the beginning of the school year, even perhaps right before we come back to school. So that is quite a bit of lead time that you need if you're going to cancel the trip to get a refund without the full refund program. Now, as we talk about the price of this, if this is something that you're thinking is too expensive for your family, there are a couple different options for scholarships and aid. So, World Strides, not Novi, offers flag scholarships. They are possibly available to you through World Strides to families with an annual adjusted gross income under $85,000. So the money is given on a sliding scale, meaning looking at both the price of our trip as well as your income. That is how World Strides determines how much aid through the scholarship that your family could receive. It is available on a first come, first serve basis. So if you decide this is something that you want to apply for your child, I would do it as soon as possible. And if you're interested, just reach out to World Strides for more information and they would be happy to give it to you. So there's another option for needs-based financial aid. My biggest recommendation is first apply for the Flag World Stride Scholarship. That's in addition to these other things, you want to get as much aid and scholarship money as possible, and you want to take it out of the World Strides bucket first. Then, after that, the Novi Education Foundation, Novi Youth Assistance, and NMS PTO have given aid to our students before. And this can be up to $400, so a fairly large portion of the trip. There is one form that you need to fill out to reach out to NEF, Novi Youth Assistant, and the PTO. It is found on the NMS website under the DC trip link. And then you can submit it by sending it or taking it to Novi Youth Assistance at the Novi Civic Center. And then our last note in this portion is when you register for the trip with World Strides, you will see something asking you if you want to sign up for My Trip. You absolutely want to sign up for this. It is a site provided by World Strides for parents to get updates about the trip. So, by registering for the trip, you'll get an email asking you to register it. Please, please, please register. We will send updates and requests through the site. So as we get closer to the fall, there'll be dates about parent meetings. There'll be dates about things that your child needs to do. If times change, if locations changed, this is how we will reach out to you. So as you're registering, when you get an email asking you to register for My Trip, you absolutely need to register for it.